Hey everybody, my name's Breanna Sorensen and I am here today, long list, with former Navy gymnast, valedictorian of his class, 2016 Olympian, and now an ophthalmologist in Guam, Peter Lombard. So Peter, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So first, let's talk about how did you first come to the Naval Academy? I know you said that you lived on the yard before you even came to the Naval Academy. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, when I was in middle school, my dad was he was a Navy doctor, and he was actually assigned to the Naval Academy as the brigade medical officer. So we lived on the yard. I was a young and impressionable 14, 15-year-old young man, and I saw these midshipmen walking around on the parade field where we lived, and from that moment on, I just knew that's where I wanted to be for college. And combine that with the fact that they had a Division I college program, which there weren't, even at that time, there weren't that many going around. Now there are even less, but it was an easy decision for me. It was the only place I was even looking at.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, you were a gymnast at the Naval Academy and also captain of the team your senior year. So tell me a little bit about your experience being on the gymnastics team.
Well, I think like a lot of other sports, your friends that you make on the team are unlike any others that you'll find. You spend so much time training with them and traveling with them and competing with them and the emotions that go with that. And it's really this it's a place where you feel like you're a little bit apart from the rest of the Naval Academy. It's just you're a little island of sometimes solitude, but also just friendship with people sort of away from the daily grind of academics and all the military obligations. And so having been connected to the men's gymnastics team there for so long, and following it as a middle schooler and keeping up with the team even after graduation, I definitely have a very soft spot in my heart for the gymnastics team.
Now, you were also valedictorian of your class of 1998. So I have to know, what was it like balancing both that athletic side and the academic side? Because I'm sure that was really hard to do.
There's not enough time in the day to do everything that you want to, and you're really forced to make some tough choices when it comes to prioritizing. I was able to figure out the minimum necessary to do in each class to get the grade that I was going for. I think you never are able to put 100% into any one thing, which is that's the downside. There are some things, I think, some courses, some classes, and gymnastics in particular, that and maybe this is common for other sports as well. You wish you could spend more time doing 2-a-day workouts, or having the extra time for physical therapy, or to take care of your body, outside of your training hours, but you're never really able to do that. So it was all about prioritization and figuring out just what you need to do in each class to get the grade that you wanted. I was, shocked after my first year to see where I was in the class, and I just decided I had to keep going for it, just because it looked like it was going to be a possibility for me. So it certainly wasn't easy, but I think a lot of people will tell you they took away is from the Naval Academy. It's just being able to fit an impossible number of tasks into a day, and just doing your best with it, and you have to be at peace with that as well.
Now, where did your journey take you then after graduation? What did you do?
Let's see. I went first to, actually just went straight down the street to Baltimore. I was accepted to Johns Hopkins for medical school, and I just went straight there after graduation. So I was there for 4 years, and that was really nice because I was able to keep tabs with the gymnastics program, and I was able to come back and watch some of the meets. After medical school, I flew off to San Diego for a year to finish my medical internship at the Naval Medical Center there. And then I became a flight surgeon for the Navy. So I trained in Pensacola for almost a year, was attached to a helicopter squadron in Hawaii. I went to Iraq to deploy during OIF2, And then after my flight surgery tour, I went back to San Diego for residency. 3 years of residency, and then I came to Guam. I did my final 5 years of obligation in Guam, and I transitioned to civilian practice.
That's awesome. Now I have to know, how do you think the Naval Academy helped really prepare you for the workforce after graduation?
Yeah, I'd say a lot goes back to the time management and the prioritization. You know, I don't think I'll ever be as busy as I was at the Naval Academy. To do everything that has to be done in a very stressful environment where you're sleep deprived. I mean, it's just even looking at med school, and the challenges in med school are very academic, and you have to spend a lot of time with the books open. With Naval Academy, you have to be very well rounded, and you have to be able to handle the rigors of the leadership experiences that they're giving you too, that you're trying to take advantage of. That's a whole nother side of it, and it to balance being a leader among your peers while you're trying to do your academics and your athletics. Putting all those things together, I think really does help train you for, a workspace environment, especially when you might, if you're interested in being an entrepreneur or owning your own business, you've got to handle the leadership aspects and taking care of your people while you're doing your job as well.
Now, you must like to say semi-busy because you also competed in the 2016 Olympics with all that training as well, while being an ophthalmologist and starting your own business. So tell me, what was it like training and competing in the Olympics?
It was just a surreal experience. I mean, you're surrounded by the greatest athletes in the world at the pinnacle of their sports, and I felt so fortunate to be there. I was there with Regine Tugati. She was a plebe at the Naval Academy at the time, and I was, 20 years older than her. So it was amazing. I was really proud to be there to represent Guam, and as was she. From a competition aspect, I wish I could have been a little bit more competitive with her, but with the other world-class athletes there. But I did my best. It was an opportunity that I was very privileged to take advantage of, and it's something I'll definitely never forget.
Now, you competed in cycling. So when did you first start your cycling journey?
I started to dabble in triathlons shortly after my gymnastics career ended after the Naval Academy. And when I moved to Guam in 2010, I really started to focus more on cycling. And that's when the opportunities to travel and represent Guam internationally in more elite level competitions became possible. And I quickly discovered I was one of the stronger cyclists in Guam. So we did have some precedent for sending athletes in the cycling sport, both on the road and the mountain bike. And so that's how it is somewhat of an opportunity thing, but also one where I did feel it was something that I enjoyed very much. I mean, mountain biking is just such a wonderful sport, and I've become a real fan of the professional sport of cycling, and it's still something that I enjoy doing now.
Now I have to know, what was your schedule like when you were training? Like, when did you fit it in to be able to train for the Olympics and do your everyday job?
It wasn't easy. It was usually what I did was I just compressed my clinic day. I just ate a brief lunch and just kind of saw patients through the lunch hour and try to get out of the office by 3 or 4 o'clock and try to get a solid block of 2 to 3 hours of training in. But things came up, life came up, and some days that you felt like your whole training plan was derailed for a variety of reasons, and you just did your best. You kept going, just like at the Naval Academy, you just did your best, kept going, and kept that goal in mind. And I was just so fortunate to be there.
Wow. And how special was it to be able to represent Guam?
Oh, it was amazing. Guam's in a unique position. They're a territory of the U.S., but they also still have their own delegation to the Olympics, which I think is really nice for the people of Guam to have that. And we've never had a medalist from Guam, and I think that to be able to show the young athletes here that it's possible to go and to compete is very important. And that's why we do it, why we go, and we try to set the example and say it's possible. Just, you don't have to think that just because you're from a small island that you can't go and do something big. So it was very special for me, and definitely something I'll be proud of forever.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us today, Peter. And we are so proud of all your accomplishments, your long list here at the Naval Academy. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.